Hello and welcome to the show. We start this week's FailRace episode on GTA 5 with Squirrel Boy managing to rather well park the vehicle. I mean, we've all jumped the cars around the canals area. This is a hell of a bounce and an incredibly well stuck. What is it? The Lamborghini Urus thing, whatever it is. They do manage to, though, at least get it to twist off of the roof. So, could have gone worse, but still. Typhon is up next on GTA 5. Now, they are completing one of the car steely things. I can't remember what they're called now. Either way, they're following their friend. They're escorting their friend through the streets when they hit a bike, and the game decides to punish them by just teleporting them into space. I mean, it would make Survive the Hunt interesting if we could manage to figure out a way to do that consistently. It's very unusual. I don't know why, but there we go. X90 is up next on GTA 5. Now, they are doing one of the known and unknown races where the vehicles change at the checkpoints. They are starting in a tank. Now, a tank is not a particularly strong vehicle. It's not really the vehicle you've got to use it at some point, right? But at the start, it's not a very fast vehicle, I should say. Strong, sure, but not very fast. As things go terribly wrong in front of the tank we're riding on board with, just gets flung off the track. I'm not quite sure. I guess another one of those. I don't quite know why it suddenly decided it needed to be somewhere else, but it did. Nebular is up next on Cyberpunk. Now, they have got a wanted level and have managed to just sort of sneak their way and hide behind a car and get rid of it. Now, the AI that were chasing them, that were looking for them, are here and are now going to go and leave the area. The problem is they're not very smart. A lot of them have got into one of the trucks or whatever it is, and they don't know what they're doing. I'm gonna guess the pathing can't figure out how to deal with the sort of roadblock that they have going on here. They're determined to try and go forward through this sort of area. It doesn't go well. The clip goes on for quite a while. I cut out the middle bit because they are just repeatedly trying to get through until the point where they manage to set their vehicle on fire. Everyone bails out of it and then it explodes. Well, I don't know if everybody quite got out of it in time, to be honest with you. There were supposed to be 4 of them, but I'm not sure how many survived it. But yeah, I mean, the FailRace police department on GTA normally do some dumb things, but that is one of the murders. One of them is now walking around on fire. It is one of the most stupid attempts I have seen from any of them. Mr. June is up next on WRC10. They are, minding their own business, running on a rally stage. And when they are as sort of tight and confined as this, little mistakes are easy to make. Essentially, this is a bit too much speed into a corner. The back end slides out. They clip a railing and go for many, many spins. In fact, from on board, it's quite difficult to tell quite how much, but yeah, there was a serious amount of spins for what was a nasty crash for sure, but shouldn't have led to that. Yeah, that got a lot of upwards momentum from the edge of the guardrail. It does land back down though, and can carry on. As with any good rally crash, you can land. I mean, it actually landed pointing the right way. You can carry on. We lost some time and probably some damage, but it was all right. Ethan up next on Assetto Corsa. So we're at the Nürburgring, and everything's gone weird. Yeah, everything's gone very weird, to be honest with you. The AI's just not moving here. One line of cars, if you like, has just got stopped. There's an Audi up at the front of it. Just stopped going, and nothing else knows how to deal with it or go round it or anything like that. I mean, the players made up a whole bunch of places. So that's something. That Sim Racer is up next on iRacing with another bizarro moment that I can't quite figure out why. This poor 911 Cup car just deciding it needs to be on its roof. Yeah, everything is fine. It's just driving along, and there is a bump. I can't figure out what it is that causes it. There's no. I mean, it's on the curb, but there's nothing else on the curb or anything like that. It just decides it needs to go for a flip. I guess, sometimes your cars just have to fall upside down. That's how it works. Bot Tiny is up next on PUBG. They are driving along an interesting route, not a normal route, shall we say, but they're doing their own thing. They're heading towards like a supply drop or whatever they are, and turns out don't drive underneath the falling crates, because you might go soaring through the air an awful lot. I mean, this is a hell of a flight for the truck. I mean, they took some damage. Everyone is okay. The truck is still driving. I'm not sure it should be after that much of a flight and that much flipping around. But yeah, maybe don't go underneath the crates. Is just a good idea. Classy Elm up next on. Now they're on armour, and they are doing some science with some vehicles. What happens if you try and run over a little vehicle with a big vehicle? Now I know how science generally goes in this, and the answer is it gets a little bit unhappy and decides to rectify it by flinging vehicles everywhere. Again, somehow the player is fine. I'm not quite sure how they are fine from that, but they are fine from that. And finally, we have Tomato Drifts on Daisy. Now, I'm not entirely sure what they're trying to do. They're trying to take off the wheel, that they're trying to replace wheels, or what the plan is. However, what has happened is, as they have taken off the wheel from their truck has had enough of physicsing. It is haunted, possessed, maybe it's been zombified. Who knows? What I do know is it's not supposed to do that. It's ran around in a field, it's flown in the air, it's flipped around, it's now bouncing around on its side. The person that was in the truck has survived. Amazingly, they've got out of it, and now the truck is just on its own adventure. It's going to spin around in a field a little bit. I'm going to guess some sort of collision is happening within the vehicle model or something that's freaking the physics engine out. It doesn't quite know what to do with any of it. Quite why, I'm not sure. Removing the wheel upset it, but it has, and now we're going to go for the slow spinning. And now there's another problem, in that if they want their vehicle back, well, you're going to have to try and get in it. I actually don't know how you would rectify this, whether you would try and shove the wheel on it, maybe whether you could turn it off, and maybe that would that would chill it out. Either way, they are now chasing a runaway vehicle around a field, and every so often the vehicle wants to fall over and sort of chases you about, and now we're going to try and get in it. Not quite that time. That's gone missed, and then we've been run over, and the inevitable, as we all expected, would happened. Turns out, don't chase after a zombie truck. It's probably a good idea, but there we go. That is going to be it for this episode. As ever, if you have clips you'd like to submit to this series, you can via a Google form. There'll be a link to it in the description. All the rules and how it works can be found on there. That, though, is going to be it from me. Thank you all very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.